Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we are going to see the detailed process of my latest painting, which is a Kalamkari Tree of Life. So since this was not a commissioned piece, I went ahead with the size that I wanted. You can see this canvas is already cut, so I just went ahead with that corner piece. This is the best part about non-commissioned artworks. It gives complete freedom to experiment, complete freedom to draw or paint whatever I feel like. So as usual, if you have seen my previous videos, you must know that I always paste the canvas on the floor. This is because I don't want it to move, and this is a very economical option for a easel. So if you do not have an easel, don't worry, you can always stick it on the floor. I've applied the basic primer coat. You can see this is the thick primer coat that I'm applying on the canvas. This is a very important step in preparing the canvas. The next step was to mark the canvas and then transfer the design. I've used a very simple trick. I just printed the peacock and then I drew it on the opposite side and then traced it on the front. So it acts as a carbon paper but does not leave any marks. Let me know in the comments if you want me to show you this process in detail. But this is pretty simple and it's very popular. I'm drawing it freehand because this is not a custom piece. I just want my creativity to follow. I do not have anything particular in my mind. I just knew that I want a tree in the center and then two peacocks on both the sides. I'm drawing swirls, which will be later tree, and I'm using a simple Nataraj pencil for this outline. You can see it's not planned, I'm just going freehand. Wherever I see space, wherever I feel suitable, I'm just going ahead with drawing a spiral there. You can definitely plan if you are not that confident to start directly. Next, I'm outlining using a red fine liner. This is 0.5 Luxor fine writer. It's very smooth and you can see it writes beautifully on canvas. One of the challenges on canvas is that you do not find right supplies to draw on a canvas. So for adding the details, I'm using this fine writer. The reason I'm using the red one is because I'm planning to paint it red. The painting is majorly going to be red. So this pen mark is going to get hidden when I'll paint over it. So always choose the marking pen or pencil to the closest color or shade of what you are going to paint in your painting. Sometimes what happens is if I draw this with black and I paint red over it, the black still has got little bit chances of being shown. Because these paints are not 100% opaque, sometimes our markings get visible once we have painted over it. So you can see I have drawn lotus at all the ends and now I am adding the leaves. This is a time lapse of me adding leaves all over the painting. So this is the outline. The outline is completed. I'm going ahead with a lot of flat and pointed brushes. The pointed brushes will be used for detailing while the flat brushes will be used for filling. The paint I'm going to use is acrylic paint from Camel. It's really thick as compared to Acrylic. So whenever I need a very flat and opaque coverage, I always prefer Camel. I started with the peacock section, but then I realized that first I should paint the broad areas, because it was actually mentally tiring. This was a very trick move because I was getting mentally exhausted and I would have given up on the painting. So what I did was I painted the broad areas first so that I get a psychological win for my brain that yes, we have painted the major section. And in that case, I will not lose my interest as an artist and I will keep painting. Sometimes we do give up on artworks, we do not complete them, and this is one of the major reasons. Because mentally or emotionally, we do not feel connected to that artwork anymore. Now I'm adding all the details. You can see I'm using a flat brush, and with that I am adding the details. I'm making the leaves and the lotus become visible. In the tricky sections, I'm using the pointed brushes, but for rest of the sections, it's the broad flat brush. You can choose the number of the brush depending upon how much space you have, what is the width, and how comfortable you are in that particular zone. That's why I'm not mentioning the number of the brush, because it's not a hard and fast rule. Depending upon the space you have available on the canvas, you can choose the suitable brush. Here you can see slowly the design is coming to life, and you can see the leaves and all the side elements being visible. This is very therapeutic, this is very calming, and it requires a lot of patience. Any painting with a lot of details requires a lot of patience. This is the progress so far. I'm just speeding the process to not bore you, and you can see here I am completing the red zone. It's fascinating to see the designs come to life. Now I can remove the canvas from the floor because we have already added the base paint. So there is no chance of this canvas getting any curvy or distorted now. I generally use the transparent broad tape, but I did not have that. I used a brown one and that left a mark on the floor, but that's okay, that can be easily cleaned. To avoid that, you can use the transparent sellotape. I've added all the details in the peacock as well. The final finishing touches for the peacock. This I'm again using a 00 pointed brush. Finally, I'm making the base. For base, I'm keeping it very simple, a very mesh-like pattern. And again, I'm doing it completely freehand. Most of the Indian traditional art forms are freehand, so you don't really have to worry about it being uniform or symmetric. You can just go ahead with how you are comfortable. Now this is the progress of the painting. I'm adding another layer of red, and now you can see the red has become more opaque. compare the area where I have painted and the area where I have not painted. It becomes more uniform and neatly finished when you apply a second coat layer. After that, I'm using an acrylic marker to add the golden details. You can also use a paintbrush and golden paint. Since I wanted to use different mediums there, that's why I chose a marker, and it's also easier to control. I'm adding dots in the mesh pattern. And an overall golden outline throughout the painting. This is the progress of the painting so far. You can see the difference between the section where golden has been added and where it has not been. This is after adding golden all the way. I'm adding some details in the painting just using the golden paint. So this is not a border for something, it's just some additional elements. They will not be visible too much, they'll just add very subtle detailing effect. I'm using these elements to fill the space that I have left. Now here is the final look after adding these details. I still thought there was something missing, so I'm adding some more details, and these are the cute spirals. So notice all the elements that I'm adding as details are related to plants or trees, because this is a tree of life. And since the painting was not planned, I'm just going with the flow. At every step I stop and I analyze, I see what I feel missing, and then I add those elements. Now I'm finishing, I'm adding all the finishing parts, and here is the final reveal. This is the completed painting, and I hope you liked it. Make sure to check out all the other painting and their process as well.